Welcome to You Will Pick the Name of This Show on the Game Day. Now I've narrowed down a couple names for you. Dink and Dunk Ball, Cover Zero, and Odd Man Sports. Whichever is commented on the most will win. I am Brandon. The only things I gamble on are football and which knee the loan sharks are gonna break next time they come to collect Perna, aka the host of yet another YouTube football show. But this one is different. Why? Because it's one of the only ones with me as the host. Except for the other ones. If you haven't checked it out before, I'm also the host of That's Good Sports. That show is not coincidentally also filmed in this very basement. But what else can I offer? Whiter teeth? No. More stamina in the bedroom? Baby. Hell no. If you're watching this show, you already have those things. But can I offer you guaranteed money? Yes. Yes, I can. You like money, I like money. I'm not doing this show for free. If you watch this show and follow our advice and place all of the bets that we discuss on the title pending show, I will personally guarantee that you will make money. I also guarantee that you will lose money. That's sort of how gambling works. But in the end, the plan is to come out on top and to take some money from the house, or even better, your friends. So to recap, this is the title pending name show. The host is me, Brandon Perna. Every week, maybe 15 minutes of football talk, and maybe 1 minute of pep talk. Football and pep. Okay, let's get to the show. Let's begin with how to bet. With sports betting becoming more popular, more legal, and more everywhere, it's important as a fan to take some time and make sure you're totally on top of just what the hell everyone is talking about. One time, I went to Paris and lost my English to French dictionary and basically became addicted to nicotine because I didn't know how to say no in French. The lesson here? Take a few minutes to learn the language of sports gambling. I will be your rock-hard Rosetta Stone. Wagering on sports without understanding sports gambling is a great way to lose a lot of money, your house, and the unconditional love from those closest to you. So listen up. For the uninitiated, sports betting may seem simple. I put money on a team. If that team wins, I win. Yes, but there's a bit more that goes into it. You've got money lines, public teams, middling, covering spreads, hedging. This isn't the lead into a male grooming ad. These are all things you need to not just know, but know inside and out. So each week, in a segment called Betting 101, I will explain in terms even a caveman could understand some basic steps to help you read lines and odds and figure out which bets make the most sense for you, which is a lot better than my original idea for Betting 101, which is just 101 bets you should place every week. Now today, we're starting with parlays. A parlay is a series of individual bets all combined into one. I'm pretty sure it's also when you have sex on a golf course. But to collect on the bet, you have to win them all. So the odds are worse, but the payout is bigger. It's truly all or nothing. Let's say you're interested this week in betting the following 4 games in a parlay. Washington at plus 9.5, Denver at plus 11, Arizona at -8, and Pittsburgh at -7. And let's say, for example, your bankroll is $100. Using straight wagers, you could make 4 separate bets of $25 each, or you could bet all 4 together as a parlay, which would net you over $1,000 if all 4 games hit. But if you lose 1 or more of the games, the bet is a loss and your wife will leave you. Lower odds, but higher returns. You hear that noise? No? I'm waiting for that ad money to come in so we can afford sound effects. Oh, there it is. Whale moans. That's right, when you hear whale moans, it means it's time for Money Talks, which is not a sign of schizophrenia. It's a segment where we look at some of the most insane, mind-boggling, who has that kind of money to throw around sports bets real people actually made from the previous week. First up, Someone last Sunday made a $703 wager to win over $35,000 on Carson Wentz scoring the first touchdown of the game against the 49ers. That's roughly 50-1 odds, which seems high, but what do I know? I actually beat those kinds of odds when I moved out of my parents' house. The first time. Carson Wentz did too, and sure enough, with 3:51 left in the first quarter, Wentz rolled left and punched it in from 11 yards out, netting this guy a low-end Audi or possibly a month of rent in San Francisco. Nicely done. Here's another one that got my heart pumping a little faster. I mean, my palms get sweaty finding $5 in the dryer, but this guy put $1.4 million down on Jags Bengals and the over at 42 last Sunday. That's more money than I'll probably see in my life. Imagine having to trust the Bengals offensive line to let Joe Burrow get the Bengals offense going enough to hit the over. Well, guess what? They did. It turns out this guy, who I can only assume was one of Bill Gates' burnout sons, didn't have to sweat at all because the Jags and Bengals combined for 58 points last week. And yes, those were the craziest bets I saw this week. Moving on to Dinks and Dunks, which is where I whip around the NFL and catch you up on all of the little tidbits you might have missed. So here we go, Dinks and Dunks, named after my arch nemesis, Tom Brady, and his playing style. Speaking of Brady, am I the only one who sees 5 TDs mentioned on Twitter and immediately thinks it says STDs? I'm scrolling through that popular social media platform, as one does, and I see the Bucks account congratulating him on his STDs. This isn't exactly breaking news, and we certainly know where he got the herpes. I should credit Brady, though, for figuring out how to throw STDs instead of catching them like the rest of us. Now, going back to Tampa, as we do every week, we compare who looks more washed. Tom Brady at age 43 or Drew Brees at age 41. Both guys won this week, with Brady leading his team all the way back from down 17. The hole he dug himself by throwing touchdowns to the wrong team. And Brees was very efficient, going 19 of 25 with 2 tutties. I guess my answer is neither. And the big loser here is Jordan Love, who is probably going to be 32 and washed before he gets a chance to start for the Packers at the rate Aaron Rodgers is playing and flexing like a god. Let's turn to Brady's former team. We all heard about Cam Newton contracting COVID, but what you may have missed was the news that one of the Chiefs players also tested positive. Scout team quarterback and former XFL stud of the St. Louis Battlehawks, Jordan Te'amo, whose job it was to play the role of Newton in preparation for the game, got it. Time to check in on the Tank for Trevor Bowl. We are at the quarter mark of the season, and it already feels like this might just be a 2-team race between the Jets and the Giants, who of course both hypothetically already have quarterbacks. I just don't see the Lions, Falcons, or Texans finishing with the fewest wins, especially after purging themselves of offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien, head coach Bill O'Brien, and GM Bill O'Brien. Their quarterbacks are too talented not to win a few games on their own, or whenever Julio Jones sees a therapist and decides the end zone is no longer hot lava. No other team out there matches the futility of the 2 New York teams. If I were to give the edge to one team, and by edge, I mean the team more likely to lose, I guess I'd give the nod to the Jets. It really feels like these 2 teams are going to combine for 3 wins this year. It's just a matter of who finishes with only 1, or possibly 0 as long as Adam Gase is still patrolling the sidelines. But either way, it looks like Trevor Lawrence will be playing in New York next year. Or if he's smart, Clemson. Now, do you ever watch pro sports knowing full well that these select humans who possess athletic genes you'd only find Brett Favre wearing? Think to yourself, well, hell, even I could do that. I know I do every week. Here's a stat line from Sunday that I actually think I could replicate. It's Chargers running back Joshua Kelly, who came in for the injured Austin Eckler and finished with 9 carries for 7 yards. Or if you're a real math head, 3/4 of a yard per carry. I definitely could do that. It would also include 9 fumbles, but that's not part of the equation. And finally, we have our fan salute. Each week, I pick one team's fan base to speak to. Sometimes it will be a rallying cry, a salute to keep your chin up. Other weeks, it could be a reminder to chill out or settle down. This week, it's Bengals fans coming in scorching hot off the first win of the Joey Burrow era. There is really no better feeling as a football team than finding a QB. Just ask the Bills and the Cardinals right now. My Denver Broncos got one whiff of a competent quarterback last season, and that high lasted us 8 months until this season started and he got hurt. As a fan, it changes your entire outlook on life. Colors are brighter, flowers smell better, your dick starts working again. Everything in life is enhanced when your team has a franchise QB. And after a rookie record 3 straight 300-yard passing games, it sure appears that Cincy has their guy. He's talented, he's an Ohio kid, and he can survive collisions that would turn lesser quarterbacks into flat Stanley. In betting terms, we call that a trifecta. Now, it probably won't happen this year, but it's coming in the near future. Just like you, Bengals fans. Cincinnati's first playoff win since 1990, an almost unfathomable 30-year drought. The last time the Bengals won a playoff game, I was 5 going on 6. And all signs point to the fact that Captain Joe Burrow will be the man to do what those before him could not. The Red Ryder BB gun Andy Dalton, Carson Palmer, John Kitna, and Jeff Wake and Blake. This is why you hired Zach Taylor to lose all of those games last year, so he can eventually win that one big playoff game in a year or 2 when he comes of age. And by that, I mean legal drinking age. Trust the process. Don't rush the process. You're probably still a year away, Bengals fans, maybe 2, but you're on the upswing, which is more than you can say for most teams. So congratulations, Cincinnati fans. I'm sincerely happy for you and totally not jealous at all of Joe Burrow and what I'm assuming will be multiple cigar endorsements in his near future. Thanks for watching the first episode of Title Pending Show here on The Game Day. Subscribe.